Isreal Adesanya is fighting this weekend, so I thought it'd be a good time to do a video on how do we rate him. What do we think? Do we think he's the best middleweight ever, the second best, or do people have him lower down? When you look at his record is amazing. He's had 5 consecutive defences. He's the only person to knock out Pereira, the only person to beat Pereira in the whole UFC, and he knocked him out. Some of the people he's beat: Anderson Silva, Martin Vettori twice, Whittaker twice, Paulo Costa when he was undefeated, Yoel Romero when no one wanted to fight him. The list goes on and on. Cannonier. And all these people, like, when you look back, that record is so good. So good. Don't get me wrong, a lot of them are decisions. That's what I think people see different compared to, like, the way Alex Pereira's talked about now. Alex Pereira's talked about now as if he's about to be the light heavyweight GOAT. Like, obviously it's not going to be because John Jones is, but if there was a different GOAT at that division, maybe if he was like the equivalent to what bantamweight is, where there's not really a nailed on greatest of all time in that division. Alex Pereira, the way he's knocking people out, how many fights he's having, that's what's making everyone think he's like unbelievable. And me too, I think he's one of the best, if not the best fighter in the whole UFC. But why do we not see Adesanya like that? He had that many title defences. He was destroying people, absolutely destroying people. But is it because he never got the finish? Is it because he didn't have all these crazy knockouts? He got the really good one on Derek Brunson coming up, and he obviously got the Paulo Costa one where he done a bit of a naughty celebration on him after. But I do think that's why we don't see Adesanya in the same way as we see other heavyweight, like exceptional fighters. The same way we see Pereira because of what he's done with the knockout. Now what we're going to see with Ilia Topuria because of what he done with Max and Volk. What we see with everyone, John Jones, because of all the defences. So I think when I do look at Adesanya, the thing that I always think about in the middleweight division is he better than Anderson Silva? I'm only 22, so I'm a bit too young to see like prime Anderson Silva. So my judgment is a bit clouded. But the thing that I do know about Anderson Silva, which is what I'm praying doesn't happen to Izzy, is at the end of Anderson Silva's career, the last 5-6 years, all anyone remembers of him is losing constantly. People like almost forget how good he actually was because he lost to Cannonier, he lost to Uriah Hall, he lost to Michael Bisping. Like, and Michael Bisping, all them fighters are amazing, but he's got a lot of losses that in the last couple of years. Izzy's on a 2-fight losing streak. If he loses to Imanov this weekend, in my opinion, the only fight that is right is either the Strickland rematch if Strickland loses, or retire. He cannot go through this thing that loads of people are doing. Tony Ferguson lost, I think he's on like a 6-fight losing streak. I don't want to see legends of the sport just constantly lose as they get older. That's not, we want to remember them in the prime the same way Demetrius Johnson, he went out on top, winning the one championship belt. He is the perfect example of it. George St. Pierre as well, beat Michael Bisping for the middleweight belt, and instead of going through hell row of middleweight, he just retired on top. That's what I wish he would have done after the Pereira fight. Don't get me wrong, I think everyone thought he could beat Strickland, and even like Duplessis as well. I think, don't get me wrong, I know Duplessis is like this weird style who beats everyone somehow, but still people thought Adesanya was going to win then. Imanov, he has to beat Imanov. No offence to Imanov, I really like him, I think his boxing's so good, but he is nowhere near the name of people Anderson Silva was even losing to, like Michael Bisping, Adesanya, Daniel Cormier. Like, these are the people he was losing to. If Izzy starts going down this row of losing to Sean Strickland, Dracus, Imanov, then if he fights, I don't know, like Kyle Bahalio, if he loses to him, and then if he just keeps going, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Izzy lose 7 fights in a row. I think, I don't even know what the UFC need to do, because it's obviously not their choice, but like all these legends who are losing loads, Tony Ferguson, BJ Penn, Anderson Silva, like John Jones is almost, I know everyone wants to see him fight Tom Aspinall, but he's almost doing the right thing and retiring on top. Just beat the greatest of all time heavyweight Stipe. But when we actually look at this week's fight, I think I do predict Izzy to win. I predict him to win by decision. I think his striking, his fight IQ will be too clever in the striking scenario. I think his takedown defense will be pretty good against Imanov too, because he's not like this wild, crazy wrestler like Shemaev or someone like that. I think Izzy will be able to stay on the feet, or if he gets down, I don't think he'll get controlled too much. And then on the actual feet, I think leg kicks will be a huge part of the fight. Imanov isn't that good at defending leg kicks. Don't get me wrong, in the Cannonier fight, he caught onto it. He started countering Cannonier after every time he'd throw a leg kick. Maybe he can do that to Izzy, but I think he'd be too good on the outside, throwing them leg kicks perfect. And I think he will just be too fast for him, too clean for him. I think he'll be in and out of range constantly. The thing is, though, is will them last two fights play on Izzy's mind? The Dracus one, I don't actually know which one was worse. Let me know what you think. Do you think the Strickland loss or the Dracus loss was worse? Because obviously the Strickland one, it was in Australia. No one expected him to lose. So what do we think of that? Because like GSP Matt Serra, no one expected Matt Serra to lose. GSP, to lose, and then Matt Serra obviously won. So all great, it can happen to everyone. But then the Dracus one, like, he was pretty good. I thought Izzy was pretty high level, which is why I'm still backing him to beat Imanov. But Dracus just got that style that just somehow just beats everyone. Like, if you watch the Darren Till Dracus fight, Darren Till was piecing him up on the feet. I think everyone watched that and then thought, oh, Izzy can do that. And then he definitely did do really well on the feet, but still getting subbed. Don't know which one was worse. I think I am going to go with the Dracus one being worse. But I just wanted to make this video to almost like see what everyone's opinion on Izzy was. Because in my mind, people are like, people like hate him. Absolutely hate him. So they automatically just go on this like negative PR of Izzy. Like, he's not bad. He was never bad. He was one of the best middleweights ever. Maybe the second best middleweight ever. People need to remember, he's the only one to beat Pereira in the whole of the UFC. So, I don't know. I think if he would have beat Błaszczykowski when he went for the double champ, then I think everyone would have seen him a lot different. But he didn't. He did get beat. And I think, in my opinion, I am gonna just nostalgia. I feel like I'm just nostalgia merchant with what I'm gonna say now. I think he is second best middleweight ever just because of the amount of defenses Anderson Silva had. I think 10 or 11 defenses, like, that is a crazy number. So many defenses. Where, don't get me wrong, Izzy 5 still amazing, and the Pereira knockout looks even better now. But I think if he would have beat Dracus and then maybe defended it 2 or 3 times, then I would have put him as the best middleweight ever. But I am going to go with second best middleweight ever. And for this weekend, I do predict a decision win. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you later.